Charlie. Charlie. A real, scary, true horror story. It all started as a joke. 4 college friends, Mark, Lisa, Kevin, and Sarah, sat in their dimly lit dorm room, boredom creeping in. The night was silent, the wind whistling through the half-open window. Lisa, always the thrill-seeker, suggested they play the Charlie Charlie game. "Oh, come on, it's just a silly internet trend," Mark scoffed. "Are you scared?" Lisa taunted, waving a piece of paper and 2 pencils. Kevin shrugged. "Why not?" "It's just a game." Sarah hesitated, but eventually agreed. They set up the paper, writing yes and no in the quadrants. Lisa carefully balanced a pencil on top of the other. "Charlie, Charlie, are you here?" she asked, in a half-mocking tone. For a moment, nothing happened. The group exchanged amused glances. Then, without warning, the top pencil trembled and slowly turned towards yes. The room fell silent. "It's just the wind," Kevin reasoned, though his voice lacked conviction. Lisa smirked. "Charlie, Charlie, will you play with us?" Again, the pencil moved, this time violently spinning before stopping on yes. The lights flickered, and Sarah gasped. "Enough, let's stop," she said, unease settling into her voice. "No way, this is getting good." Lisa grinned. "Charlie, Charlie, are you a good spirit?" The pencil didn't move immediately. The tension in the room thickened. Then, with deliberate slowness, it pointed to N-O. A loud bang echoed in the room, as if something invisible had slammed against the door. The friends jumped, their eyes wide with fear. "Who did that?" Mark exclaimed. No one answered. Kevin hurried to check the door, but there was no one outside. "This isn't funny anymore," he muttered. Sarah reached out to touch Lisa's hand, but Lisa's face had gone pale. Her breathing was shallow, and she seemed frozen. Her lips trembled, and she whispered, "Charlie, are you here?" The moment the words left her mouth, the door burst open violently. Papers flew around the room as a deep, guttural whisper filled the air. It was unintelligible, but filled with malice. The pencils suddenly flew off the table, hitting Mark in the chest. Lisa let out a sharp cry, clutching her head as if she were in pain. "Close the game," Kevin shouted, grabbing Lisa's shoulders and shaking her. "Say goodbye," Sarah, trembling, screamed. "Charlie, Charlie, can we leave?" The pencil spun to Y-E-S. Without hesitation, she shouted, "Goodbye." The wind in the room died down instantly. The eerie silence returned. The 4 sat in stunned silence, breathing heavily, too shaken to speak. That night, Lisa was plagued by nightmares, visions of dark, hollow eyes staring at her, whispers in an unknown language filling her ears. The next morning, she woke up with deep scratches on her arms. "You did that yourself in your sleep." Mark tried to rationalize, but his voice wavered. They decided never to speak of that night again, but Lisa was never the same. She withdrew, haunted by unseen forces, convinced that something had followed her back. A month later, she disappeared without a trace. Her dorm room was found in disarray, her belongings scattered. The only thing left untouched was a piece of paper with the words, "Charlie, Charlie, are you here?" scrawled repeatedly. The police never found her, but every now and then the remaining 3 friends would wake up to the sound of pencils rolling on their desks, as if something was still playing the game, waiting for another turn. After Lisa's disappearance, Mark, Kevin, and Sarah struggled to return to normal. They avoided discussing that night, but the memories haunted them. Lisa's empty dorm room remained untouched, an eerie reminder of what had transpired. One evening, a month after Lisa vanished, Kevin received a message from Lisa's number. His phone buzzed, and a simple text appeared. "Charlie, Charlie, are you here?" His blood ran cold. Hands shaking, he showed the message to Mark and Sarah. "It has to be a prank, right?" Sarah whispered. Mark frowned. Her phone was taken by the police as evidence. Who could be using it? Before they could respond, another message appeared. "I never left. I'm waiting." A deep sense of dread settled over them. Kevin quickly blocked the number, but they all knew the truth. This wasn't over. That night, Sarah woke up, gasping for breath. A dark shadow loomed at the foot of her bed, unmoving. Her voice caught in her throat as she tried to scream. The air felt thick, suffocating. She scrambled for her phone, but as soon as she turned on the flashlight, the shadow was gone. The only evidence of its presence was a single piece of paper on her nightstand. Written on it, in Lisa's handwriting, were the words, "Don't play again. Don't answer him." Sarah ran to Mark and Kevin's dorm, shaking with fear. "It's Lisa. She's trying to warn us." Mark and Kevin exchanged uneasy glances. "Warn us about what?" Mark asked hesitantly. Sarah hesitated before answering. I think Lisa is trapped, and whatever took her, it's still here." Determined to find answers, the trio returned to Lisa's dorm room. It had been sealed off, but Kevin picked the lock with a hairpin. As they stepped inside, the temperature dropped instantly. The air smelled stale, like old paper and decay. Lisa's belongings were scattered, just as they had been the night she disappeared. The paper from their Charlie Charlie game still lay on the desk. Mark hesitated, then picked it up. The words, "Charlie Charlie, are you here?" had been scribbled in deep, jagged etchings, as if written in a frenzy. "Guys, look at this," he whispered, pointing to fresh pencil marks that hadn't been there before. The words had changed. "Help me." Kevin took a step back. "Lisa's still in there. We need to find a way to bring her back." "How?" Sarah asked, voice trembling. Mark's eyes darkened. "We have to play again." Sarah shook her head furiously. "No, she told us not to. You saw the note. Then how else do we save her?" Mark snapped. "If she's trapped, we need to open the door to wherever she is." Kevin hesitated before nodding. "One last time, but we do it right. We ask the right questions." With reluctance, they set up the game again, their breaths shaky. Mark balanced the pencils, then with a deep inhale, he whispered, "Charlie, Charlie, where is Lisa?" The pencil trembled violently. Then, in a slow, agonizing motion, it spun to a new answer, scratched onto the paper. "Behind you," Sarah screamed. The room plunged into darkness. Sarah's scream echoed through the darkened room. Mark fumbled for his phone's flashlight, his fingers trembling. But as soon as the beam of light cut through the air, the room was empty. Lisa was standing there. Her eyes were hollow, her skin pale, and stretched too tightly over her face. She opened her mouth, but no words came out, only a guttural, suffocating rasp. Her fingers twitched, reaching toward them. Kevin staggered backward. "Lisa, is that really you?" Lisa took a step forward, her movements unnatural, jerky, like a puppet on invisible strings. Then, in a voice that barely sounded human, she whispered, "You shouldn't have come back." The pencils on the desk spun wildly before snapping in half. The paper burned at the edges, curling inward as if invisible hands were consuming it. The room itself groaned, the walls trembling. "Run!" Mark shouted, grabbing Sarah's arm and yanking her toward the door. But the door slammed shut on its own. Lisa, or whatever had become of her, tilted her head. The shadows behind her swirled, twisting into something monstrous. "You wanted to find me," she whispered, her lips barely moving. "Now you stay." The air grew suffocating. heavy with the scent of rot. Kevin pulled out his phone, but the screen cracked violently as if crushed by unseen hands. Sarah banged on the door, screaming for help. Lisa's lips curled into something resembling a smile. Charlie doesn't like when we break the rules. Mark grabbed the remnants of the paper, now burned at the edges, but still legible. "Charlie, Charlie, can we leave?" he whispered desperately. The pencil, now shattered, did not move. A whispering voice slithered through the air. "No." A force yanked Kevin backward, dragging him toward the shadows. He clawed at the floor, his screams turning into strangled gasps. Sarah lunged forward, grabbing his arms. "No, we're not leaving without him." Lisa, if it was still Lisa, let out a distorted laugh. The lights flickered, revealing dark figures lining the walls, hollow eyes, grinning mouths, watching, waiting. Kevin's screams grew fainter as the darkness swallowed him whole. And then, silence. The door creaked open slowly, revealing the empty hallway beyond. The air was still, dead. Sarah collapsed, sobbing. He's gone. He's gone." Mark pulled her up, his voice shaking. "We need to get out. Now." With one last glance at Lisa's expressionless form, they bolted out of the room. The hallway stretched endlessly, the exit seeming further and further away with every step. Behind them, a voice whispered, "I never left. I'm waiting." And the door slammed shut. To be continued.